Tom Reed here down in Southwest Detroit, here with Ivy. You know that I upload these to YouTube.
Yes,
You cool with that?
that's fine with me.
You know, and you also know I just interviewed your girlfriend.
Yeah, she just told me.
So even before I interviewed her, I heard you got in a little trouble.
Yeah?
Yeah, with the iPhone.
Yeah, how'd you hear about that?
It's a small world. Somebody called me right after that. They found out about it. You know, I know a lot of people that I don't interview.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll cut right to the chase, and that is like I was telling her.
I don't even want to talk about that. That was a stupid decision.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I told her, you guys don't need to lie to me. And I'm not saying you did when we last talked, but you know, when I interview her, she can tell me that, you know, yeah, I'm struggling with this. That's fine. But when I interview her and she tells me she's not using, and 10 people text me later and said that's a bunch of bullshit.
No, she wasn't.
It's not a good feeling.
She wasn't. She was on methadone. She wasn't using at the time. That's why it kind of like hurt my feelings that when all the stuff that I was hearing about it, like, oh, she's got track marks, and well, of course you're gonna have track marks for a while. I still have track marks, and I haven't, you know, shot up or done anything in a while. Like I snorted something, but you know, my track marks are gonna be there. You're always gonna see them, you know. So
Yeah.
I really didn't like that.
Okay. So it's not my business whether she is or not. I'm just saying that the whole idea is that, you know, trying to connect the dots with people that are trying to put you on the right track, help you out. And it's not like, you know, I want that to be true if it can be, you know, and just because it isn't going the way people have an expectation it would, doesn't mean that, you know, you guys can, like, don't have to be straight with me, you know what I'm saying?
You know what it is?
Yeah, what is it?
It's funny that you say that because there's someone else that you did an interview of, and I'm not gonna mention her name, but she said that she didn't do anything. She said she didn't prostitute. She said that she didn't do any drugs. This is the first interview you did with this particular person, and when I saw it and I talked to her about it, she said that she was embarrassed because she didn't exactly know what you were about, and she was kind of like embarrassed for her personal information to be out there for the whole world to see. And I can understand that. And it's not that a person wants to lie to you and be dishonest, it's that they're scared, and they're scared about being embarrassed, being ashamed. There's a lot of shame and stuff that comes with being an addict and being homeless. You know, I'm homeless right now. I have a sign.
Yep.
You know,
Let me see that sign, by the way.
you know,
Okay.
I found this sign. I didn't even write this.
Okay.
I found this today.
Well, I've seen some of the graphic art stuff you've done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I know that you didn't write that.
Yeah, I do graphic design
I know
and
it,
web
yeah.
design. Yeah.
You did one for, what was it, car racing or some shit?
It was a dealership that I
Yeah,
worked
dealership,
at.
yeah,
Metro
yeah,
Tech Collision. Yeah.
So, I mean, this little deal that you got in, you said it was a stupid decision.
Yeah.
Is that just desperation?
It was desperation, and I actually thought that it was, either way it goes, it was the wrong thing to do. But I didn't know that it belonged to the person that it belonged to. I thought that it was something that was left there and lost by someone.
Okay.
The way that it was placed and the position that it was in, it
Yeah.
just didn't seem like it belonged to the person who it belonged to.
Yeah.
And immediately after I took, it was a phone that I took,
Yeah,
just
I
to
know
be
it.
clear.
Yeah.
And immediately after I took this phone, there's a guy that buys stuff from me down the street. And I take him all types of stuff. I take him, you know, sunglasses, things that I find, not things that I don't steal. I don't go around and just steal stuff, you know. And the guy buys it from me, or he gives me work. It's the guy that owns a dollar store down the street. He'll either put me to work at his store, or he'll buy stuff off of me that I come upon. So I took it directly to him, and the police tracked it. He turned the phone on, and the police tracked me, and they came right to me, and they came and got me. But you
So
know,
that's a felony, right?
It's an open charge for right now, so
Okay.
I don't know exactly. That's why they let me out.
Oh, okay,
But
gotcha.
they didn't look at it as a really serious charge. But
And
I
did
regret it.
you figure out who it actually belonged to then?
Yes.
And how are they about it?
I am technically legally not allowed to talk to them.
Oh, okay, gotcha,
So-
gotcha. Okay, good.
That's typical. That's regular with any type of incident or crime where there's a victim and a perpetrator. The perpetrator is not allowed to associate with the victim.
And what happens if you do?
You violate your bond and you go to jail.
Gotcha. Okay. So were you locked up for a night or something?
3 days.
3 days. Okay, good. Now, you know, the last time I interviewed you guys and left you out there at the old Mona Lisa, I was feeling pretty good about. You got a lot of support. You read your comments and stuff, right?
Yeah, I used to.
Okay, and she was looking good, and now today it's not exactly a great feeling, you know.
No,
I mean-
it's very, very hard out here because we ran out of money and had to leave the motel, and we've been like panhandling and stuff, and
You-
that's really hard. That's a hard thing to do, to stand out here in the sun and catch the bus out to wherever and stand with the sign for 10 hours out of a day and hope that you come up with some money.
You said you used to read your comments. Why don't you anymore?
Because some of them are really nasty.
Let me know on that. I believe me, I delete the ones that I see, but
Why do you
it's
delete them?
because they're nasty.
You should leave them though.
That's what YouTube thinks, because they like controversy. But you know, my job isn't to, or my interest isn't to come out here and make people look bad.
Well, but it creates dialogue.
It does, but you know, I don't want that kind of dialogue. First
Yeah.
of all, they don't know what they're talking about. And
Yeah.
secondly, you know, 10% of the people that are on there are a bunch of wackos anyway.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, I'll give you an example. Like when I'm at my laptop, I'll go and I'll check my messages, delete about 50 of them, go right to my phone after I've checked every message that I think's available to me, and there'll be 50 messages on there that are older than the ones that I just deleted. So when you see a shitty ass nasty comment on there, it's because I didn't see it. It's just not a perfect system. But that's why I have so many moderators, because I want them to delete that bullshit.
Yeah, I
You're right.
understand.
It gets more dialogue, but I'm not interested in that kind of dialogue.
I get it.
Okay,
It
good,
does,
yeah.
but it clears the air for some misunderstandings. Like some people believe certain things. Like some people will say, "Oh, it's never going to work between those two. If she's clean and he's still using, he's just going to lead her down the wrong road. He's a criminal." I haven't had a charge in 10 years, you know?
Yeah.
So, am I defined by my past always? Or do I have an opportunity to change? Am I allowed to do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or am I always going to be the same person that did this certain act 10, 20 years ago? Am I always going to be defined by that? You know, I shouldn't be. I should be allowed to be defined by my changed behavior. in
But
my
people will ask straight out, why don't you guys just go out and get jobs?
opinion. I'm actually going to work today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going through Minuteman Staffing. It's a 12-hour job at assembling auto parts in Highland Park, Michigan.
Okay, and
Yeah.
what would keep Amber from just getting a job?
She's supposed to be going to Minuteman Staffing too, but
Okay.
I don't know if she's going to be able to go. She doesn't have a Social Security card right now.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I have my Social Security card, but I don't have an ID.
Okay.
I have an old jail ID from years ago.
Oh, okay.
And someone stole my wallet, which is why I don't have an ID. And you can't get into the Secretary of State for 3 or 4 months down the line. My appointment to Secretary of State isn't until October.
Oh, okay.
Late October, like October 23rd or something.
Okay.
That's the earliest I can get into the Secretary of State to get an ID, and I
Okay.
can't order it online.
All right.
So,
Well, you got any questions for me?
no,
All right. Well, have a good a day as you can.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.